The University of Maryland is pleased to present the classes of 2025 and 2026. Jason Lausel Colson, our 2026 commencement student speaker, is leading the procession with the University Gonfalon, along with Dr. Marcia Gensler-Stevens and Dr. Bob Infantino, our student medalist and student finalist. Our students, led by senior marshals and faculty marshals, follow. Please welcome our graduates. Please welcome the College of Behavioral and Social Sciences. welcome the Robert H. Smith School of Business.
So, you're starting to see these folks come in. I love this. It's getting more and more exciting. And I'm starting to get into the fashion of this and the dedication of getting ready for this day. Just in this area here. What school are we here? Okay, which one is that? Business?
Social sciences.
Social sciences. They have a lot of time on their hands. At least they dedicate themselves. Here we go. Here's why. That's a good thing. You're about to see why. Please dip down a second. Look at that bedazzled. That is great. How long did it take you to do this?
Over a couple months.
What is your name?
Shakira Hill.
Congratulations, that is awesome. Now you went a different route. No bedazzle for you, you went all natural. So please dip down so the whole world can see. A little further. Look at that, that is awesome right there. Okay, how long did that take?
Like 8 hours.
And what is your name?
Elizabeth.
Okay, congratulations to you as well. We're not done yet, there's one more. I'm coming over here, where was I a second ago? There was one. Okay, over here, yes. All right, one more. Go ahead, show the world. And how long did that take you?
Like 3 hours with my mom.
Oh, and what is your name?
Ashley.
Ashley, thank you, Mom. There you go, just the beginning of what we'll show you throughout the rest of the time. And I want to know who traveled the furthest to get here today. I'll be walking around and trying to find out that answer next.
Please welcome the School of Public Policy. Please welcome the School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation.
Folks, one of the greatest places here on campus is, yes, the football stadium. Another great place is the Stamp Student Union, and that is where you'll sometimes see Marcia Gensler-Stevens. Come on up here, Marcia. If you've been anywhere at the school, you've had to go past Stamp Student Union and had a great time. And if you were here in the last, I don't know, 44 years, maybe you ran across Marcia. Hello, Marcia.
Good, friend. How are you?
Well, I was here a mere 30 years ago, so I probably saw you many times back in the
Probably
day.
did. Did you get in trouble?
Not too much, so I don't know. But hey, this is your last one after all these years, your last commencement?
Yes, I'm graduating with the class of 26.
Well, you picked a good group to graduate with, didn't you guys? Yes. Okay. You can't put 44 years into one memory, but how about what you will miss the most from this group?
The people, but they're stitched on my heart, so I'm taking them with me.
I'm sure you will. Hey, let's thank her for all this great time. The Student Union is the place to be. Thanks to Marcia. Thank you so much for yours. And remember, Terp for life. Terp for life. Marcia, wow, that's awesome.
Please welcome the College of Information.
So I'm in the stands right now trying to find out how far away people came to be here. I'll get to that in just a moment. But first, I want to introduce you to the first family of Maryland. You may say, oh, who is that? But I'll tell you what, does 17 family members, all attending the University of Maryland, get you something? I think it should. Tell me about your family.
Yup, my little sister, Raquel Louisa Ford, is graduating today, and she's the 17th Terrapin to graduate from the University of Maryland, College Park.
I know, if you point somewhere in this stadium, you'll hit somebody that you're related to. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the university. Now we want to see how far we've come away. I'm up here in the stands. You traveled here to see your graduate. How far did you come from?
I've come from India. My son, Mayank Barnwal, is graduating from Roberts School of Business.
Oh, we got a business grad, and you guys came all the way from India. I'm so glad you came here. Hope you have a good, nice trip back. So that's international. When I want to stay in the USA, but you got to go a long distance for this guy. Where did you come from?
Petersburg, Alaska.
Alaska. Wow. How often do you visit Maryland if you're in Alaska?
Actually, quite a bit, yeah. This is my fiance, so.
Is there a shortcut I don't know about? What do you mean?
Shortcut. It's a long trip.
How many hours is it?
18.
18 hours. Wow. All right. Well, thank you for being here as well. No matter how far you came, a few people got here around the corner. I don't care. We're all glad we're together here for Commencement 2026.
Please welcome the College of Computer, Mathematical, and Natural Sciences. Please welcome the College of Arts and Humanities. Please welcome undergraduate studies. Please welcome the A. James Clark School of Engineering and Graduate Studies.
Hey folks, when I was here at campus 30 years ago, my side job while I was a student was a student official for Campus Rec. But these guys have even cooler jobs they had while the time they were here. All right, this is K-Bar is how she goes. Student athlete, but also you had a job.
Library preservationist.
Okay, library preservationist. A lot of hours a week, what was that?
It's like 10 to 15.
Then we have Devin over here. Tell me about your side gig.
I'm the author of a children's anti-bullying book called Devin Speaks Up, and I have sold thousands of copies of it. Look up Devin Speaks Up, D-E-V-I-N.
There you go, a working author while also a student at the same time. And then Omar, you mind getting yourself dirty in your job?
Absolutely. I worked as a fishmonger all 4 years of school.
A fishmonger. That doesn't sound like somebody you want to be when you grow up as a monger, but you already were. You took it on with pride, right?
When you sell the best fish on the East Coast, you sure do.
All right, congratulations on that. And, you know, hard-working grads, making it work, getting the money they need to help make things happen. Way to go, guys. Terrapin family. Sometimes you come here and you find a career. Sometimes you come here and you find friends. And sometimes you find something better. I'm here with Xander. You came to the University of Maryland from where?
Los Angeles, California.
And it was worth coming all this way because you wanted to get a degree in?
Finance.
Okay, so you know that's a good deal. Then you come here and you found something better than just finance.
Yeah, to be honest, I found a lot more than just a degree. I found the love of my life, Sophia Esther Königsberg.
Yes, he's gonna be ring shopping soon. The love of his life found here at Maryland, and they are Terps for life, and your kids will go to Maryland.
Baruch Hashem, my kids will go to Maryland.
Yes, let's hear it for love. Let's hear it for the Terps. Let's hear it for Xander. There you go.
Please welcome the Philip Merrill College of Journalism. Please welcome the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Guests, please welcome the ROTC Commanders, ROTC Cadets, athletic coaches, and staff. Please welcome the School of Public Health. Commencement celebrates the achievement of a lifetime for thousands of Terrapins. University policies do not allow for disruption of any university event, including commencement. Protests, demonstrations, and other such expressive activities must be done in the designated areas outside of the venue. Thank you for making this day special for our graduating Terps. Please welcome the College of Education. Please welcome University of Maryland faculty. Attention all graduates. Please take your seats at this time. Thank you. Once again, all graduates, please take your seats at this time. Thank you. Distinguished guests and graduates, please rise and welcome the University Marshal and the Platform Party for your 2026 Commencement Ceremony. Everyone, please remain standing silently during the presentation of the colors by the University of Maryland Honor Guard and for the National Anthem by Jason New.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Distinguished guests, please remain standing until the colors retire. Then continue standing and welcome Chaplain Tarif Sharaim to deliver today's official invocation.
Greetings of peace. On this extraordinary day, let us pause for a moment to honor this journey and to remember that behind every cap and gown is a story, often unseen, often unspoken. Because this moment didn't come easy. It came through exhaustion, through doubt, through sacrifices made not only by you, but by those who love you. Some of you crossed oceans to be here. Some fought battles no one else could see and still showed up. And so today, we pause in deep gratitude for every parent, every teacher, every friend who stood beside you, and even for the hardships, because they didn't break you, they strengthened you. As we stand at this new beginning, may we never forget the strength it took to get here. May we move through the world with both compassion and ambition. May we measure success not only by achievement, but by character. May we live for something greater than ourselves. May we be gentle with those who struggle, remembering when we struggle too. May we have the courage to choose what is right even when it is hard. May we be a source of hope in heavy spaces and a voice of truth when it is needed. May we never become so busy building a life that we forget to build a heart. May we make time to listen, to forgive, to care, and to love. And when life humbles us, as it will, may we rise again with deeper wisdom, stronger resolve, and softer hearts. May we remember that the world doesn't just need our talent, it needs our humanity. And on the days when we feel lost, may we remember this day. May we remember how far we've come, and may we trust that there's still something beautiful ahead. May this day be more than a milestone. May it be the beginning of lives lived with purpose, courage, and hearts wide open. Amen.
Distinguished guest, please welcome the President of the University of Maryland, Dr. Darrell J. Pies.
Thank you, everyone. Please take your seats. Thank you, Chaplain Tarif, for those spiritual words. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have modified the program just in the event that there might be inclement weather, so things may have changed in your actual program to make the ceremonies go just a little bit faster. All right. I never thought I would get applause for that. All right, students, families, faculty, and alums, welcome to the University of Maryland's 2026 Commencement Ceremony. This is an extraordinary day for so many reasons. First, it is special because today we host the Spring 2026 graduates. And we also welcome back summer and fall graduates from the class of 2025. Class of 25, please stand. Class of 2025, please stand. Welcome back. To our graduates, I and the entire university are tremendously proud and grateful for the hard work, determination, and excellence you have shown over the course of your years here on our Do Good campus. Yes, you have shown amazing talent, ingenuity, fearlessness, and we are so proud of how you faced up and persevered through every challenge. We are all stronger, terrapin strong, because of you. Yes. I also want to address your families of our graduates for just a moment, as graduating from college is truly a family affair. So please, family members for all of our graduates, please stand in the audience. Stand in the audience. Stand, families, mothers and fathers, grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, please stand. We congratulate you too today as well. Your commitment to the importance of higher education and how it will lead to a better life for your children and future generations has led to this very moment. So stand and allow us to recognize you in your own personal journey. How about a round of applause for the families? Thank you all, and again, congratulations. Before we begin, I would also like to acknowledge just some of the leadership of the university and special guests, and ask that each of them stand and remain standing. Please hold your applause until the end. First, the vice presidents of the university, please stand. The deans of our colleges and schools, please stand. The presidents of the Student Government Association and the Graduate Student Government, please stand. The chair of the 2025-2026 University Senate, Dr. Sarah Donmeyer, please stand. Rear Admiral Sean Dennehan, representing the ROTC, please stand. Our faculty and student marshals, please stand. Our student speaker, Jason Lausel Colson, please stand. University System of Maryland Regent Andy Smerick, please stand. And the Honorable Charles Bowden Jr., a retired Marine Corps Major General who served on 4 space shuttle missions and was the 12th administrator of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration from July 2009 to January 2017. Please stand. Give them all a round of applause. Thank you for your contributions to our university.
Please welcome Senior Vice President and Provost, Dr. Jennifer King Rice.
Today, Provost Rice and I have the privilege to recognize 2 individuals with honorary doctorate degrees in public service. The first, Courtney Clark Pastrick, was unfortunately unable to attend tonight's rescheduled ceremony. She served as president of the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation from 1987 to 2015, and was deeply committed to honoring the legacy of her father, A. James Clark, and generously investing in the University of Maryland to fuel its excellence and provide opportunities to all of our students. From establishing and funding an array of scholarships, fellowships, and professorships, to building world-class facilities, Pastrick created an exceptional legacy by helping generations of Terps succeed and thrive. Please join me in giving her a round of applause. It is also my distinct honor today to present an honorary doctorate of public service to the unbelievable, the incomparable, Mr. Johnny Holliday. Mr. Holliday has one of the most familiar faces and voices across Washington and Baltimore radio and television. Best known for his 47-year run as the voice of the Terps, he has called more than 2,000 University of Maryland football and basketball games that include 16 bowl games, 12 Sweet 16s, 2 Final Fours, and the men's basketball team's 2002 national championship victory. In his distinguished career, he has handled play-by-play for George Washington basketball, Navy football, ACC women's basketball, the Baltimore Orioles, the Washington Nationals, the Washington Bullets, and national gymnastics. He has done ABC radio sports reports and covered the Winter and Summer Olympics, championship boxing, the Masters, and many, many more. Mr. Holliday was inducted into the Radio Television Broadcasters Hall of Fame in 2003 and has dedicated significant time to charitable efforts, raising millions of dollars through events supporting organizations such as the Special Olympics and Children's Hospital. He is, and always has been, and always will be, an enthusiastic supporter and contributor to the mission of the University of Maryland. Through his personal, professional, philanthropic, and charitable activities, he continues to exemplify our commitment to impacting the public good. And his infectious charm and voice have surely communicated our accomplishments and won more fans than anyone in our institution's history. Mr. Holliday, I ask you now to join me and Provost Rice at the podium.
The Board of Regents of the University System of Maryland, in recognition of scholarly attainments and distinguished service, and on nomination of the faculty of the university by virtue of authority granted by charter of the state of Maryland, hereby confers upon Johnny Holliday the degree of Doctor of Public Service with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereunto appertaining. In witness of this diploma, signed by the authorized officers of the university and sealed with the corporate seal of the university, is granted. Given at College Park, Maryland, on the 21st day of May in the year 2026.
How about another round of applause of Johnny Holliday, the voice of the Terps? I would now like to introduce the remarkable candidates for the University Medal, the highest honor that we can bestow upon a graduate. It is awarded each year to the senior who best personifies academic distinction, extraordinary character, and outstanding contributions beyond their major field of study. The University Medal Selection Advisory Committee identified 4 finalists from all of this year's graduates, and it is my honor and privilege to introduce you to them now. Anirudh Agarwal graduated in December with degrees in computer science and mathematics. He developed curriculum and taught computer science to thousands of students through Computer Engineers of the Next Generation. Studied abroad in Japan and will continue his research into artificial intelligence as a PhD student at the University of Maryland this fall. How about a round of applause for him? Next up, Nishkau Hundeu is graduating with a degree in computer science and mathematics, an international student from India. He co-founded and was president of the University of Maryland Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning Club, growing it from 0 persons to 800 students, and worked to secure travel funding so students of all backgrounds could compete in hackathons. He will be a PhD student in computing and data science at Boston University studying his PhD this fall. Congratulations. Lushan Jeshrol is earning 3 degrees with a 3.9 GPA. International business, German studies, and government and politics. Inspired to give back to his community, he has worked with the Terps vote, interned with U.S. Congress and Prince George's County Council members, and plans to continue a career in local public service through government or a nonprofit organization. Congratulations. Reina Saraya is graduating with a degree in neuroscience. She has combined scientific curiosity with community advocacy, founding a nonprofit dedicated to reproductive health for women. Regardless of background or income, she will enroll in the Rutgers University Robert Wood Johnson Medical School this fall and pursue opportunities to advance health equity for all. Congratulations, Reina, and thank you for coming back. Let's have another round of applause for all of the 4 finalists. And now, I am pleased to introduce you to this year's university medalist, an English literature and psychology dual degree student. She dedicated herself to taking advantage of every moment of her college career, founding a literary magazine, becoming an award-winning poet, re-energizing the Spanish Club, and completing 3 additional minors. A native of Ellicott City, Maryland, she received the Phi Beta Kappa Senior Award for her commitment to the liberal arts and sciences, and the Seidel Keystone Prize for Achievement, the highest academic distinction in our Honors Humanities program. She plans to pursue a career in mediation and conflict resolution and will spend a year completing an accelerated master's program in the Robert A. Smith School of Business. Distinguished guests, please join me in honoring this year's university medalist, Nuru Garamani.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Thank you, everyone.
How about another round of applause for Nura? Congratulations. Your excellence is amazing.
Distinguished guest, please welcome Rear Admiral Sean Dennehan to administer the oath of office to our newest second lieutenants and ensigns.
Distinguished guests, faculty, parents, friends, and family, I am honored to share this moment with you. And as a proud Terp of the Maryland class of '97, let me offer my most sincerest and most heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you in the class of 2025 and 2026. 250 years ago, the Second Continental Congress convened just north of here in Philadelphia. There, the founding fathers risked everything. They were fearless, signing a document that declared independence from Great Britain, and in doing so, launched the story of a nation. They founded a country on a singular, bold promise that all are created equal and endowed with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our fathers enshrined those ideals in a simple piece of parchment, the Constitution of the United States of America and its Bill of Rights. Today, that document stands as one of the most powerful forces in our history. In addition to securing the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, the preamble of the Constitution establishes the need to provide for our common defense. To do so, our nation needs leaders of the highest caliber and character who are committed to defending the principles of liberty. Article 2 of the Constitution provides those who have demonstrated the highest forms of patriotism, valor, and fidelity with a special trust and confidence, and appoints them as commissioned officers, as leaders of our Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Space Force. But before they start their service, they must take an oath. The oath you are about to witness is unique among nations. It is an oath of allegiance, not to any one person, but to a legal frame of government. The oath is a commitment to support and defend the principles of the Constitution and the freedoms it guarantees. They will take the same oath that military officers have taken for generations, and it is the ultimate testament to their commitment to serve us all. They will leave here tonight and go on to lead our sailors, soldiers, airmen, Marines, and guardians across the globe with honor, integrity, and courage. Distinguished guests, at this time, I will administer the oath of office to our nation's newest officers. Would our future officers please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed an officer in the United States military, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations to our nation's newest ensigns and lieutenants. I look forward to serving alongside of you. Good luck, and as this university states so well, as you go forward in your service, be fearless.
Welcome back, Dr. Darrell J. Pines, and please welcome Senior Vice President and Provost Dr. Jennifer King Rice.
Graduating seniors, we have now reached the moment you have all been waiting for. When you are officially authorized to receive your degrees, I call on Provost Rice to present the candidates for the degrees.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculties of the schools and colleges, and in recognition of the successful completion of all degree requirements, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Landscape Architecture, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Music Education, Bachelor of Science, Master of Applied Anthropology, Master of Architecture, Master of Arts, Master of Business Administration, Master of Chemical and Life Sciences, Master of Community Planning, Master of Education, Master of Engineering, Master of Extension Education, Master of Finance, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Health Administration, Master of Historic Preservation, Master of Information Management, Master of Journalism, Master of Landscape Architecture, Master of Library and Information Science, Master of Music, Master of Professional Studies, Master of Public Health, Master of Public Management, Master of Public Policy, Master of Quantitative Finance, Master of Real Estate Development, Master of Science, Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Business Administration, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, and Doctor of Philosophy, as appropriate in each case.
I am pleased to accept the faculty's recommendation under the authority granted by the State of Maryland to the Board of Regents of the University System of Maryland, and by the authority the board has delegated to me. I am delighted to confer upon you, the candidates, the degrees as appropriate in each case. Congratulations!
Please turn your attention to the video board for a special message.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1, and liftoff.
Please welcome to the stage the President of the University of Maryland Student Government Association, Dhruva Marani.
It is my honor today to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Jeanette Epps, a NASA astronaut and double Terp who graduated with a master's and doctorate in aerospace engineering. Dr. Epps spent nearly 8 months aboard the International Space Station in 2024, contributing to groundbreaking scientific investigations and setting the record for the longest continuous space mission by an African-American woman at 235 days. Born and raised in Syracuse, New York, Epps graduated from Lemoyne College before attending UMD and working in the university's Alfred Guissot Rotorcraft Center, testing designs and materials for helicopter rotor blades. Epps worked as a researcher at the Ford Motor Company, where she was awarded 2 patents and served 7 years as a technical intelligence officer with the CIA before joining NASA as part of its 20th class of astronauts. Please join me in welcoming our speaker, Dr. Jeanette Epps.
Wow. It is beautiful to be here. Good evening, President Pines, distinguished members of the faculty, members of the Board of Regents and trustees, families, friends, and most importantly, the classes of 2025 and 2026. Thank you for having me back. Being here today with all of you is the honor of a lifetime. I would like to dedicate this address to my twin sister Janet, who passed away just 3 months ago. Janet was a scientist and a very proud Terp who earned her PhD on this campus alongside me. She was as curious about the world as I am, maybe not quite as adventurous, but without her, I wouldn't be standing here today. I carry her spirit with me today, and now I'd like to share some of my story with you. When I returned to Earth after nearly 8 months aboard the International Space Station, gravity and I took some time to become friends again. For 235 days, my feet did not carry me, my neck did not support my head, and those stabilizing muscles we all take for granted, they had largely given up on me. When the recovery team pulled me from that capsule after splashdown, my head felt like it weighed 50 pounds. I imagine some of you might be feeling your own version of this today, albeit for very different reasons. I was once a college senior sitting through a ceremony just like this after vigorously celebrating the culmination of 4 years of hard work. So I get it if some of you are feeling the weight of this moment. But let me offer you some reassurance. There's a moment, and every astronaut will tell you this, when you float to the cupola window of the International Space Station for the first time and look out at the universe. Everything you thought you knew about scale, distance, about what matters, is quietly and permanently upended. I too had that moment, but one of the first times it happened to me was not in orbit. It was right here in College Park. Here's where I learned to think. Here's where my eyes opened to the world. In many ways, this was my first launch pad, the beginnings of my personal launch complex. And it will be yours too. If you have ever watched a rocket launch, you've seen the pad, the platform, the liquid oxygen vapor clouds, everything primed for liftoff. But what you don't see is everything behind the scenes, the miles of cabling, the flame trenches, the team of thousands on the ground making that single moment possible. That is the launch complex. It is far more than the place where you lift off. It is the entire community of support that gets you to your goals. When I look around today, I see a massive and very proud launch complex, and I want to congratulate all of you. So let's hear it for the families. Myself, I was born into a large, rowdy family, 7 kids raised by a single mother. She had not gone to a 4-year college, but she always reminded us that nothing is impossible with an education. When I was 9, I was excited to show my older brother my report card, and he responded, "Well, with these grades, you could become a scientist or even an aerospace engineer." That was my early launch complex doing its job. Late night, alone in my room, feet dangling off the bed, I would look up at the stars. That's when I let myself dream. Wild, ridiculous, impractical dreams. Engineer, researcher, and astronaut. That a little girl in Syracuse could go from looking at the stars to floating among them, and now standing before you, is proof that dreaming big can take you to unexpected places. To all of you who once had dreams so big you were too embarrassed to say them out loud, I want to remind you, sometimes those dreams actually do come true, but the path to them will not be straight. In fact, straight lines are pretty rare in nature, and you will not get there alone. You will need your own launch complex. My experiences are certainly a good reminder of this. When I arrived here, I was very much a work in progress. I owe so much to my Maryland advisor, Dr. Indrajit Chopra, soft-spoken, brilliant, and so intellectually imposing that we were terrified, not of upsetting him, but of disappointing him. You see, he was devoted to our success, and we knew it. He became a permanent part of my launch complex. I'm certain that many of you have formed bonds just like these to friends or to faculty. I'm reminded of Kermit the Frog's comments from this very podium last year. And yes, it's intimidating to follow the creation of fellow Terp alum Jim Henson, but Kermit said, always be on the lookout for old friends you just met. I think that's some fairly profound advice from a frog. As you move forward from this place, realize that your past sometimes will be so circuitous that it may feel downright circular. Forward progress may feel like anything but. You may take jobs or choose paths that are seemingly unrelated to anything you study here. Believe me, I get it. Sitting where you are now, I was eager to put my brand new PhD to work researching difficult, interesting problems. So I went to Ford Motor Company, where I started researching safety systems for automobiles. But UMD had prepared me. I learned critical thinking, perseverance, and the joy of being part of a team committed to excellence. And far from my family, I also discovered I love my independence. I loved my work, and I had the best colleagues. But then one day, while recruiting for Ford, another recruiter handed me a card, smiled, and said, I'm a recruiter for the CIA. You can forgive me a bit of skepticism at what felt like a poorly crafted pickup line, but a few weeks later, he called and asked, do you want to serve your country? I knew my answer right away. Of course I do. And just like that, this Terrapin engineer became a CIA officer. I cannot tell you what I did for the next 7 years, and I mean quite literally, I cannot tell you. But what I loved about that job wasn't the technical engineering challenges, it was the search for truth. That was the core of my mission. It taught me to find the truth in chaos, to become comfortable with not always knowing the answer to a problem, but being fully capable of searching for it. Skills that I learned right here on this campus. The CIA provided new opportunities, and I dove right in. While I was with the agency, I served in Iraq. I saw war up close and came to know the price it exacts from all who are touched by it. I scrambled for shelter during a New Year's Eve mortar attack while there. I lived and worked closely with people who didn't advertise their courage and whose stories few will ever know. And throughout my time with the CIA, I searched for truth, and I learned that this is one of my guiding principles. The CIA was exciting, occasionally dangerous, and it pushed me to excel. In the process, these experiences and people became part of my launch complex, and I carry all of them with me to this day. But I realized it was time for something else. What could be next after all of this? Then I recalled that little girl in Syracuse staring out her bedroom window, and it hit me. The stars. That's where I wanted to go next. So I applied to the NASA Astronaut Corps and waited. And then after what felt like forever and more interviews than I hope any of you ever have to endure, I got the call. I was selected to be a member of NASA's 2009 astronaut class. And do you know where I went immediately and who I told first? I came right back here to this campus where I first launched. I went straight to my advisor, Dr. Chopra, and to President Pines. He was a professor then and the toughest person on my dissertation committee, to share all the exciting news. Such was the strength of the connections that I built while I was here. I walked in NASA filled with determination, excited beyond words to achieve something rare. Now, something you may not know, but until you graduate NASA's 2-year astronaut training program, you are officially known as an astronaut candidate. But unofficially, everyone just calls you an ASCAN. As you can guess, it was not intended as a compliment. So needless to say, I was motivated to shed that label. So I trained. I stayed curious. I kept moving forward, and I absorbed everything I could. Finally, I graduated. I earned my wings and became a full-fledged astronaut. No more ASCAM for me. It was time to fly. But instead, I waited, and I waited some more. I trained underwater, logging 450 hours of spacewalk training in a pool so big, a full-size mock-up of the International Space Station fits inside it. I lived 9 days in a tiny undersea habitat with 5 other people, simulating what it would be like to mine the surface of an asteroid. I trained underground, spending 5 days in a large cave system, helping NASA and its international partners understand the engineering and human systems required to explore and live on other planets. And I trained in the air, logging 870 hours in a high-performance jet. I also learned Russian, emergency medicine, and outdoor survival. I was really ready to go. But then I waited some more, years more, in fact. You know, when people hear you're an astronaut, they sometimes get this spark in their eyes. And then I have to brace for that inevitable next question. What's space like? When I told them I hadn't flown yet, I would also often see that spark just kind of flicker out. But then, in 2016, I was finally assigned to a mission. I would launch to space on a Russian Soyuz vehicle. I would be the first woman of color to do a long-duration mission on the International Space Station. Thank you. I trained with my crew incessantly. I passed every exam, both in Russian and English. I was ready for anything. Well, except for one thing. 5 months before our launch, I was removed from that mission. No explanation, no reprimand, no warning, nothing. I had passed all of my exams with flying colors. I had studied, and I was prepared. I had been as relentless as I was meticulous. And yet here I was, removed from my mission. There's a line from Star Trek's Captain Jean-Luc Picard, and yes, every astronaut speech is required to contain at least one Star Trek reference. This one is mine. But Picard said, "It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life." Let that sink in. It's possible to do everything right and still lose. I want you to sit with that for a moment because many of you have probably experienced this already, and many of you will certainly if you have not yet. No one told me that growing up, though. Many of us are raised on a story that says effort plus talent plus discipline equals the outcome you want. And then life happens, and you discover that the equation is incomplete. Viktor Frankl, who survived the Holocaust and became one of the great psychiatrists of the 20th century, wrote that everything can be taken from a person but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Sit with that one for a minute as well. The only guaranteed freedom we have that cannot be altered by circumstance is the way in which we choose to respond to that circumstance. I read that line during the worst of those waiting years. I could not choose when I went to space, but I could choose how I would show up. Did I want to fly, or was it time to give up on that dream? The circumstances felt deeply unjust. I won't lie, I was ready to give up. And then my mind came back here to the University of Maryland, to my mentor, Dr. Chopra, and to all those long hours in his lab. His wisdom and example came through so clearly. Just like all those years earlier when I struggled, when experiments failed, or I couldn't make sense of my data, Dr. Chopra would inevitably show up and through the facade of his quiet sternness would offer a nugget of wisdom or just a few words of encouragement that fired up my determination again. And in that moment, I realized something. I had done nothing wrong, and my integrity was intact. I could be consumed by anger, or I could keep showing up. So that's exactly what I did. Sometimes in the face of injustice or a setback, that's what you do. You just keep showing up every day. You keep doing the work and you keep moving forward. I studied more Russian. I flew more hours in jets, served as Capcom, and that's the voice and mission control you hear talking to the astronauts in orbit. I helped other people get safely to space. I traveled the world talking to students and people from all walks about spaceflight. I could be of service. And you know what happened? My launch complex grew even bigger, and I was better for it. Now, make no mistakes, this was all very uncomfortable, but I was getting pretty used to being uncomfortable. One thing about astronaut training, it is grueling, but in the process, it teaches you to become very comfortable being uncomfortable. Cramped cockpits, and possibly close quarters with people who may not be your best friends, long hours of classes, constant physical training, and extreme environments of all kinds. And that's all before you go to space. But then my patience finally paid off. On March 4th, 2024, 15 years after I was selected, I launched to the International Space Station.
3,
I flew.
2, 1, ignition, engines full power, and liftoff of NASA Crew 8. Go Falcon, go SpaceX, and go NASA.
For 8 months, I orbited our home, circling Earth every 90 minutes, moving about 17,500 miles per hour for anyone doing the math, and it was truly sublime. I got to see a solar eclipse from space. I saw 16 sunrises and sunsets every day, and the signs of life back here on Earth were everywhere I looked. These experiences made me realize that what I truly valued was never about achievement. It was about my connections to this community here at UMD, to colleagues, to friends, and especially to my family. It was also connections to the thousands of people I would never meet who made my dream possible, my launch complex. Graduates, you are sitting on your launch pad right here today. This university has spent years building part of your launch complex with you. Faculty who pushed you, friends who carried you through all-nighters you did not think you would survive, and your family. They have sacrificed in ways you may not fully understand for another 20 years. To those families here today or watching from a distance, I have to say, the launch complex you built for your graduates is extraordinary. Today belongs to you as much as it does to them. Lastly, I want to give you 4 things to carry with you when you walk off this campus into the rest of your life. Not as advice, but as equipment for the journey. 1, pick a navigation point. It does not have to be a specific outcome. It can be a value like truth, excellence, honesty, service, the relief of suffering. It doesn't matter what. Just walk toward it purposefully, one foot in front of the other, and just trust that your path will reveal itself. 2, stay curious. Curiosity is the most durable instrument you will ever own. It is also the fuel that will drive you forward, so harness it. Use it for good. Do good. 3, build your launch complex intentionally. Choose your team, choose your mentors, be of value to those around you. I have news for you. None of you are self-made. As I have said, we don't launch alone. All the astronauts you read about today, we are all standing on the shoulders of people you have never heard of and whom even we will never meet. 4, write your own story. Don't allow anyone else to do it for you, but then share it generously. You all carry stories that are valuable and need to be told. From this point forward, you get to make the choices that will shape your story. And when the floor under you inevitably gives way, remember Viktor Frankl. You may not choose or control what happens to you, but you can always choose how you respond. Always. If you take nothing from my remarks today, please take that. The world you are walking into has real darkness in it. I have seen it up close, and I will not pretend otherwise. There are real fractures, real problems your generation will be asked to solve that you did not create. But you've been trained by this place, by the people who love you, by everything you have experienced to get to this point, to strike a match and create light where there was only darkness before. Those signs of life back on Earth that I saw from orbit, each one represented a community created by people who choose to build something and shine a light in their darkness. That is what you have spent the last 4 years learning how to do. So please, bring your light and share with all of us. From Syracuse to College Park to Detroit, Baghdad, Houston, and to the stars and back, I was just a kid who kept walking toward a guiding star. But now it's your turn. Today is your liftoff. Light your fires and launch your rockets. I'll be watching for them. Congratulations, graduates. Go Terps! Woo!
Please welcome to the podium your 2026 student commencement speaker, Jason Lausel Colson.
At the end of my second year here at UMD, I traveled with my mother to Granada, Nicaragua. After 22 years away, she was finally able to visit her homeland. And for the first time in my life, I met my grandfather. That week, my family gathered at a long table overlooking Lake Nicaragua. And in the distance, volcano Concepcion stood still against the sky. Generations seated together. Stories that spanned across borders. But sitting beside my grandfather, same birthday, different generations, I began to understand what it means to be trusted with something larger than yourself. He was a scientist and a deeply trusted member of the Catholic community who served local monasteries and congregations, entrusted with postmortem care. Legacy isn't something you inherit. It's built through how you serve others. My father taught me that too. He arrived in this country at 17, alone. A refugee of the Civil War in El Salvador. He was welcomed into a church in Washington, D.C. that gave him a place to start, to build the community he would later serve. Through his tenacity, he learned the trades, and in 1997, he started his own home remodeling business. I grew up on those job sites, sanding, painting, helping to build the lives of the next generation of families in the DMV. Different settings, same lesson. Pay attention, take care, do the work well. At Maryland, I found a discipline for this in information science. I learned that systems are not neutral. They are designed. They shape who has access and who is included. And here at Maryland, we've lived inside those systems, shaping them and being shaped by them. I studied how to design systems that center people, and I began to see the connections. Whether you are preserving a sacred moment in Nicaragua, restoring a home for those in your community, or designing a system that gives others access, the responsibility is the same. Build with care, build with intention, build so others can belong. Growing up, I learned to notice hands. My grandfather's hands, steady and precise, trusted in sacred moments. My father's hands, calloused and scarred from years of service to his community. And my own hands, now building systems through code instead of concrete. Think about those before you and what they've done to get you here. Maybe they've worked long shifts. Maybe they've sacrificed for their family. Maybe they've built, carried, practiced, persisted. We are all builders, builders of trust, builders of access, builders of community. In the classrooms we sat in, the projects we worked through, and the conversations we had late at night. We built something together. Class of 2026, we leave here not just carrying diplomas, but carrying stories. Stories of sacrifice, stories of faith, stories of hands that built a life for us. Education is not just a personal achievement. It is a bridge built between generations. Congratulations, Terps. And before I conclude, I'd like to dedicate some words to my family in Spanish and the Latin community as well. De parte de todos los graduantes, quiero extenderles las gracias a todas las familias que han venido aquí a celebrarlos. Gracias por su apoyo, gracias por su fe y gracias por siempre tenerlos en sus oraciones. A través de sus lecciones y sus enseñanzas, hemos podido estar aquí en este momento. Thank you, and let's hear for the class of 2026.
Please welcome your final speaker before our grand finale, Andy Smerick, University System of Maryland Board of Regents.
I promise I'll be brief. All right, I am here just to say congratulations from the University of System of Maryland and the Board of Regents. I have to thank the great President Pines and all of the faculty and staff and the great team, all the people who have made this great, if soggy day possible. So thank you to them. Hey, Terps, You are graduating from the flagship university of our state. This is an institution that is now ranked in the top 20 publics in America. You should be really proud of your accomplishment. Now, as you walk out of this stadium tonight, just know that you're walking into the Terp alumni community. I'm a Terp twice over myself, and we are all thrilled that you're going to become part of this family. So welcome. Now, before we get out of here, one last round of applause for your family, your friends, all the people who helped you get here today. Remember, we are grateful for them. No one can succeed alone. And that's my one small piece of advice to leave you with, if I can. The best way to thank those people who have helped you is to now go out and help others. You are going to find joy, you're going to find meaning in serving other people and helping them to succeed now. Remember, this is a do-good campus. We just cannot wait to see all the good that you do. So, the Board of Regents, we are here just to say congratulations for all of the great contributions that you have made to this remarkable university. Well done, you did it. Congratulations to the classes of 2025 and 2026. All the best ahead.
Students, families, faculty, staff, alumni, and Terps, please welcome to CQ Stadium the best mascot in the country, Tassel.
Thank you, Testudo. Before we officially launch our next chapter and a few fireworks, I ask my fellow graduates to please rise as you are able. On my count, let's celebrate and turn our tassels together. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn your tassels.